Greetings, friends, and welcome. So today I wanted to talk with you about harnessing frustration as fuel for creation. And I have some notes here that I'm going to read from and as well share some of my thoughts kind of intuitively as they come up along the way. So I'm just going to get into these notes and just kind of start getting it out there. So frustration is something we all feel from time to time. And I know I do. And for me, frustration can come from many things. So, it comes from feeling uninspired or feeling blocked, like being blocked in the artist process, feeling an artist block. Frustration for me can come from feeling tired and just maybe kind of worn out, like from doing, just doing so many things, and that I'm not, able to spend more time creatively on, my creative endeavors. It comes from feeling scattered mentally, or spread thin. And the list kind of can go on and on. We all experience frustration from many things, I think. And, the main thing is just that with frustration, it can cause us, to want to shut down or to retreat, to kind of withdraw. And so, I've found that frustration has energy behind it, though. And, when we're able to harness that energy, we give frustration an outlet that it can be a powerful fuel for creation. And so, I've really experienced this in ways, where I felt frustrated actually before going for a hike and had like a thought just cycling in my mind. And so, started the hike and it was uphill from the beginning of the hike and an uphill that I know that, I would have stopped and rested like halfway up. But feeling the frustration I was feeling at that time and having this thought going through my mind, I powered up that hill and I just kept going without stopping. So can be a lot of energy behind frustration. And I think that can be a useful thing to utilize and to harness and to kind of use as a letting go process, like a letting go of, going like, okay, I'm just too tired or too worn out or too, frustrated or upset or whatever to do anything. And then, just keeping those feelings and thoughts inside, I feel like that's just kind of a way to allow them to become more powerful internally when that power can be redirected out into, and channeled into a creative process. So we can decide to utilize feelings of frustration instead of withdrawing from them. And this is a process of integration and acceptance, of cherishing our human experience as a necessary and useful part of the whole. Utilizing frustration in a creative process can give way to a letting go that allows for new and exciting forms to emerge in artwork. This letting go effectively channels the feelings back into the physical world and is a process of transmutation. And so, this idea of letting go and how that can lead to new and exciting surprises within artwork is something that can be really necessary for moving forward and for finding inspiration when the inspiration is not there before starting the work. Before that, there's not an idea or a feeling of joy about working. Just getting into it through the energy and the powerful expression or the powerful energy of frustration can lead to the inspiration being there and the joy and wonder being discovered in the work. And so this piece I have here started out, I made a video of this early on a few months back, and this was a piece that I called Angel Wings back then, because it was like this flurry of brush strokes, and their color and motion suggested angel wings. Their arrangement suggested angel wings, and this flurry of the motion of angel wings. And so I felt like it was finished at the time because it came to fruition in terms of having like a concept and an idea and feeling cohesive, but it still didn't feel satisfying, even though it was the result of going through this powerful expression of frustration and finding a place of peace and calm with that. It still wasn't a finished artwork for me. I kept kind of looking at it and going, oh, okay, like that's, it's got this overall feeling of like sameness within it. And I just, I didn't, I wasn't satisfied with that. So I kept going and was kind of feeling, this feeling of letting go, a bit of a feeling of frustration, through kind of a lack of inspiration, or what we could may normally think of as like an artist block or whatever. And so I let myself go with that feeling, and I was just like, okay, like it doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is that I'm working on something and getting out these feelings, like accepting that these feelings exist within me right now, at that point in time. And so letting it out, letting go through that process, and finding a point within it where it began to be transmuted into a feeling of wonder and joy. And that's when I began to see these feathery shapes that I could paint in, and just this heavy-handed abstraction and these energetic brush strokes started to suggest more to me. They started to suggest this atmosphere, and I just saw where the painting could go. And it was at that point when I started to connect with the surprise and the beauty within it and the wonder within it, and that helped me to feel joyful again, and gave me a direction, something solid that I could work on and kind of count on, and being inspired by that to go into the work and not feel these conflicting emotions of frustration and wanting to create something. So this is just an example of how, letting go into that process and allowing it, not needing it to be anything except for a release and a process of transmutation and transformation, how that can be the whole point of the work at that point, and how that can be enlightening. It can be an experience of lightness, of finding the lightness in life again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this piece, and it's different than most of the other work I've done, and kind of incorporates this sense of space and atmosphere that I've really been wanting to bring into my work more. And so, kind of allowing this process of frustration has led to something that I've been wanting to, incorporate into my work, like a level that I've wanted my work to reach for some time. And so that's really, really a wonderful experience, a joyful experience. So back to my notes here. When I stick with it long enough, the feelings eventually drain and give way to feelings of wonder, of joy and peace through what I have created. And so that's what I was just talking about, and it's really true. It really can work like that when we just start, when we just let go and start. So work made through this process is generally exciting to me because the creative result is a surprise, full of wonder and the unexpected. Yes. Once again, exactly what I've been talking about with this piece. And so just really encouraging, getting into that letting go process and just starting, just making the work and seeing where it goes. Giving it time, because sometimes it takes time, but when the feeling of surprise and wonder is there, that's when that that the frustration's been released and that it's been utilized for something, that it's been useful for something and a part of the whole experience. So when I am feeling frustration, I have usually lost my sense of joy and wonder with my human experience, and having a way to integrate and transform through a creative process has been valuable and rewarding. Withdrawing into frustration allows it to persist. Harnessing frustration as fuel transforms it into joy and wonder. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today, is just, harnessing frustration as fuel for the creative process and for the process of our own transformation into a joyful and light place again, a place of lightness and wonder. It's worth endeavoring, I feel. And, over and over again, I've really experienced how just letting go into the process and allowing it to be what it is, allowing the work to develop on its own, to go through, points of feeling like it's been destroyed and then been brought back, that is a really rewarding and healing process. And, along the way, I've discovered that, that a painting isn't, it isn't necessarily possible to push it too far, because given enough time, it will, it will become clear what needs to be done with it. And, just connecting with the feelings about it. Like when I spent a few days when I first started this painting months back, and then, feeling like it was finished enough and like I had gone through this process with it where it was cohesive and I had felt release, but then realizing I just wasn't satisfied with the end result. And, so wanting to keep working on it and get back into it, you know, trusting those feelings and letting go of a need for it to be anything has led to this point where, you know, it's something new and exciting and a bit of a progression for me in terms of the work that I'd like to be creating. And so, you know, it all is a part of the whole experience. It's you know, it's a part of the whole, and you know, sometimes a very necessary process of what it takes to fully integrate and allow, you know, the whole human experience to be a part of the creative process. So just, you know, really how necessary and useful it is to recognize that, is what I wanted to share. And so I encourage, I encourage you, if you've, been feeling frustration and, you know, feeling the need for an outlet for it, some form of artwork is, I think, perfect for that. And for me, it's generally painting and writing, and drawing. Really mostly writing and painting has been, felt the most rewarding to me in terms of integrating feelings of frustration and transmuting them through my own power and through the power of that frustration. Yeah, so harnessing frustration as, as a creative process is one that I truly encourage, and I hope that you can find your own ways to discover and utilize that for yourself. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.